Okay. The sand smoke is offered to the others. Declan sees a vision of his parents meeting and falling in love in Dithoyne. He watches their relationship develop and his mother get pregnant. Then the vision goes dark and he's standing in front of the gallows. In front of him, a poster that says, "The hanging of Declan Core, he did not do enough." And then the vision ends. Abishmina partakes of the sand smoke after and sees Ramiel at the Battle of the White Cliffs, battling pirates and slavers, giving his life to save the fleet of merchant ships. His spirit rises into the night sky and is beckoned to the breast of he who watches. Bryn has a vision of a dark cloud of sapphire and black consuming the worlds. Beings of light flee from the chaos until they find a Calland that gives the spirit-like people a sanctuary. This chaos comes for the Kalishtar, but is defeated by an unknown force. Some of the Six Eyes also partake in the smoke. Taran and Eli seem especially haunted by their visions, while Maya seems rather tickled about what she saw. Abrishmina asks everyone what else they encountered. Eli says that his mother was a djinn and his father was a demon, and he said that would happen to him if they ever got. He saw what would happen to him if they ever got hold of him. Abrishmina tries to tell him that the bloodlines do not dictate their fate. Maya saw her family back in her home plane. They were all extremely happy, and she was ecstatic about it. Taran saw a giant snake-like god that his father had a connection to. He saw a temple in the jungle that was lined with statues. His father's figure was among them. Makood wins his friendly competition of stand down after discussing their visions. Makood talks of the battles he wants after the preacher and asks Bryn what he wants to do after they secure her mother. She says that she wants to go back home to Callan, and Makood seems a bit upset that she'd forgotten his promise to help him and Rena with the sandworm problem, almost as if they were summoned two sandworms passed nearby, which caused Girid to comment that they had been moving in that direction lately. They tell him about the sandworm within the city and the man seen riding it. Girid refers to him as the Spurned. He attacks tribes and sends them into a frenzy. He hit the Medigen not long ago. The Girid tells Makood Dragonseer that they should travel south to Kalusur, past the fields of glass at the foot of the mountain so they can guide them to the peak of a mountain to speak to the one they need to speak to. Abrishmina then asks Girid to pass along the message to the Monk of the Waste, to which he agrees when she tells him that they are the last to know of the goddess veiled beside the monk. Party finally takes to bed, and the next morning Declan's voices his desire to keep the preacher alive, paralyzed, so that he can learn all that he can from him. Maya and Thallo are understandably against the idea. Abrishmina is against this torture, saying that it will gift this false god power. And she says that doing so will allow the preacher to continue to hurt people and mark Declan's soul in a way that cannot be taken back from. It's not a cause or curiosity that would be worth his soul. Bryn says that she had trust that Kolo and Jorah would find justice if she listened to him, and she is not interested in any justice other than what she can guarantee. During the trek across the desert, Abrishmina continues to commune with her god, being told that the best way to save the slavers would be not to hesitate to hold back. Also that Owen is not a prisoner to the preacher. That only one apostle is certainly a danger, while the others may yet be. The preacher's weakness is his fanatical resolve and overestimation of his gifts and abilities. The virtues arrive at the oasis. Bryn uses the green stone to reveal the open hidden door. Corridor just beyond is big enough for Makood. It ends in a large room with a balcony and stairs leading down. Preacher can be heard addressing followers. There is a door off to the left where the cages are filled with slaves. Bryn finds her mother Kaya, who is comatose and unresponsive, as well as a friend Holly, who immediately recognizes her. Declan does not. Declan seals the door behind them. One of the slaves gestures to the scene where a lone guard is hiding. It is Madar the ghost, who immediately surrenders to them. Abrishmina deafens her. Bryn is able to speak mind to mind and gleans that she's being held magically under the preacher's control, even the chance she would not fight us. Dune will lead the slaves that can travel back over the desert to Ashar with Medar's help. Alora will teleport with Kaya and the other slaves that cannot walk on their own, leaving the Six Eyes down to just Maya, Thal, Eli, and Taran. Abrishmina seals the exit so that the slavers cannot follow after them. Declan proceeds to the balcony, seeing 80 figures congregated around the preacher. He knows that this temple has been infiltrated because the spell holding Madar under control has been broken. He speaks of the upcoming Fight being his crucible, tells his children to stand back. Jacqueline shoots the preacher one of his poison bolts and deals an impressive blow. Bryn throws down some beads from her necklace of fireballs, but the preacher dodges out the way and the oracle seems unfazed by the flames. McCood launches himself at the preacher and lays into him with his hammer. The preacher is shaken by the damage he has taken, but calls on the aid of one of his followers. A woman steps forward and kills herself. The blood empowers him. McCood summons an elemental out of Igmoti's maul to handle the crowd. Abrishmina declares that he who watches will not allow him to speak his lies any longer. The oracle counters Abrishmina's magic, but there is nothing. But it is for nothing, as Declan uses sneezing and choking dust, and Bryn uses her own magic to cast silence. The preacher is denied the power his followers grant him. As the battle goes on, the preacher is dangerous. McCood takes blows that no one should be able to withstand. Abrishmina curses the preacher, and Bryn comes up and opens his throat. The oracle screams silently before her skin splits and slows off and transforms into a massive demon. The congregation tries to flee from the malformed creature that is the Lashed. The party focuses on the new threat. It flares up and hits almost everyone with necrotic aura. McCood goes down, and then with a wave, hits Abrishmina, light erupts and burns the Lashed into dust.
Thank you very much for writing that scene and reading it down. Inspiration for Dan.
Not a problem.
I love how it's just like their skin splits and it slows off.
Yeah, run of the mill.
The most deadpan.
I'm mostly trying to do it correctly and quickly.
I know.
I could do it dramatically if you want.
And then the hideous creature that they'll never be able to unsee and will cause them nightmares for the rest of their lives dies, and they are victorious.
The end. Sounds like
Dan,
a good
I
story.
appreciate your brevity.
See, did you know if you had inspiration or not before that? Can you remember?
The sheet says she does.
Okay, that's fine. I was just going to donate it. Bryn, do you want it?
I mean, if I need it, well...
I mean, McCood's about to be making death saves, so...
Okay, I find that unlikely, unless something awful is about to happen. Cool.
Every single one of the dudes is going to shoot you now. No, so there is this sort of moment of silence, and the elemental that McCood summoned cracks and falls into rubble. The cultists, once screaming and struggling in the corridor, pushing past each other and thronging on the stairs, all stop and slowly turn, almost all of them just staring at you, or inspired and blown away. They've just watched their god be killed and realized that all this time they've been worshipping something awful.
So they're all in the same space with us?
No. So you are all down in the chapel, and they are all up at the far end of the chapel, on the stairs, and in the corridor.
Okay. Can I see Ethan?
Roll me a d20.
6.
You cannot see Ethan.
Okay.
Abrashmina is going to come down and touching the staff of Vale, she's going to lay her hand on Mkud and cast Cure Wounds. So that he comes up at 21 hit points.
Woo.
Because he is unconscious, he gets full healing. I don't even have 2 rolls.
Nice.
Yay for Grave Cleric. And she's going to stand and look at the throng of cultists, and she's going to kind of straighten up, and with a deep booming voice from Thaumaturgy is going to call out, I am Abrashmina Adeline, and I am a servant of He Who Watches. Me and my friend have brought his gaze here to witness the blasphemy of your false preacher and his pretender demon. They have been judged and now pay ashal for their crimes. You can join their blood sleeping into the sand, or you can live to redeem yourself so that you do not pass into the endless night without the guidance of He Who Watches. Those who stand with this man will not find comfort in the realm of his false god. You will wander the cold, starless nights of the empty wastes and be forgotten. Stand down or find yourselves judged.
Yeah.
Does anyone not have inspiration?
I mean, so inspirations from previous readings carry over?
Yes.
Then I have inspiration.
I don't think Bryn does because she did something awesome last time. I did because I had something awesome last time, and Dan does because of yada yada yada.
I already had it, but
Yeah.
I've got extra.
You guys are inspiration hoarders. Okay, make me an intimidation check, please.
Intimidation?
Yes.
Okay. What's
With
my
advantage.
modifier for that, Jage? Oh, with the advantage. Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of them are still frightened from the chimes.
Yeah.
And you just
+3.
murdered my god.
+3. Okay. I already have inspiration, so I don't need to use my. Or I have advantage, so I don't need to use inspiration. Okay.
I mean, you can use inspiration, right? If I guess it just grants advantage.
Yeah, it's not like
luck.
it's not like lucky. I got told off for trying to do that the other day. Only a 15
Okay.
because the dice hates me.
Okay. You see one of the clergy kind of steps forward. The rest kind of standing there, like eyes wide, staring at you. And he kind of calls out to the rest and says, "No, she's lying. This is sorcery. This is." He's going to draw a sword.
Can I
charge
do
you.
insightful fighting at him and put an arrow in his neck?
You may, but there are also going to be 7 others who will spring into action, charging the 4 of you.
Rashmina, like as he's like drawing his sword, and before Declan can shoot the guy, hopefully, she's going to raise a hand and say, "The light of he who watches is judging you," and she's going to cast Calm Emotions.
Ooh.
So that's the charisma saving throw, and she's going to aim, I think it's a 20-foot radius, and I'm going to center it so that I'm getting as many of the cultists in that group of dissidents that I can.
So there are, you can get all the distance with that.
Okay.
Easy. So, okay. Just tell me if any of these pass. So 13, 14, 12, 14, 16.
I think that's a pass, Jade. What's my
the
DC?
16 is your DC.
Okay.
16, and 7.
Okay, so 2 pass.
2 pass. So the others sort of like slow to a run or to a jog and then just stop. But 2 more continue on charging. Declan, you may act.
So insightful fighting, so against his deception, is a 17.
That's a hit. That's a success even.
Okay. Then the attack is going to be a 18 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay.
I think I have to use a 3rd level spell slot to cast that spell, Jade. I think I was out of 2s.
10, 15,
Indeed.
18.
It has been marked.
Thank you so much.
24
welcome.
points of damage.
He is dead.
Okay.
4.8 times over. He just, I don't know if you kill him or try.
No, I'm not trying to kill him. I'm trying to just put him down.
So I imagine it must be a leg shot or something then.
Yeah, to the shoulder or something like that.
Yeah, and he goes down like gasping and passes out immediately. The other one though, Brennan McCood, you can act.
So he's not slowing at all.
No, he is like charging, sword out, eyes wide.
Jade, can I ask, is Calm Emotions a concentration spell, or is it just an instant?
1 second. It is concentration.
Okay, so I don't have spirit guardians anymore.
If he's going to continue to move towards us, Brandon's going to stalk towards him with her rapiers and take all 3
Nice.
slices. Oh no, she's very conflicted about this, I imagine. For an 18, a 10, and a 15.
The 18 and 15 hit.
Uh, 15 points of damage.
He is dead. You just run him through. The rest of the clergy stands there staring at you. Some of them kind of twitching and trying to see if they want to move or not, but frozen by fear.
Declan will just call out with the chime still sort of ringing in the air. Those of you who throw down your weapons will be shown mercy.
You hear one kind of clang of metal on stone from somewhere in the corridor, and then more, and it's suddenly like this intense ringing rain as they all drop their weapons.
Declan breathes a sigh of relief.
It takes a long time for the echoes to stop, and there's just this ringing.
I'll say sort of under my breath to the group, deeply sort of uncomfortable sounding. Among these here is my sister. Please allow me time to find her.
All right. Everyone, on your knees. Place your fingers, hands behind your head.
Maya, would you please retrieve their weapons and place them in your bag?
Maya and Thal run around and grab all the weapons. Going to take them a long ass time, but they make a start. While the clergy obeys, acting like hollow robots, not really knowing what to do anymore. They gave everything to this religion, and now it's all gone. And everything that they've been told seems to be a lie, and so they're just acting automatically.
Are there any that seem to be like Madir and Yuki, where they are like, yay, their control over me is gone?
No.
Or is it all like a bunch of brainwashed plebs?
No, these are brainwashed ones.
So no collars like Madeira had?
No more collars.
I'm going to begin making my way through the crowd to look for Ethan.
Yeah. It takes you a little while. She's at the far end of the corridor, but you find her. She's
go ahead.
She's got a scar along her cheek now that sort of tugs at the right hand side of her lip, and she has this sort of hollow, stony look in her eyes. She just stares up at you without speaking.
Ethan, say you know me.
She gives you a long look. I know you.
It's going to pull her close to me and just embrace her for as long as I can, just trying to feel the closeness that was once between us. And
her hands just hang limply at her sides.
What has happened? Why do you wear these robes?
It's all gone, Declan. Everything that was is gone.
It is not so. I've come to bring you back, to return you to your father. Your life can still be yours again. whatever power this foul religion held over your heart, it can be released now.
No power, Declan. Just words. Words that once make sense, but now they seem distant.
I'd like to insight check her to get a sense if she's lying to me, if she's a believer, if she and to get just a broader sense of her current state. That's a good roll. That's 27.
So she's not lying. You get the impression that she's been so bombarded with this rhetoric that it became a new reality. And she's been programmed with this belief system that now has just been ripped away. And when she was, a believer, when she was an active member of the clergy, that belief system had infected her personality, and with it being torn away, she feels hollow and as though it took her with him.
How long has she been missing total now?
I mean, it would have taken you a long time to cross Lament and then get to Ashar. Mm-hmm. So it's been months at this point.
Okay.
Maybe 2 or 3.
Okay. Whatever's happened, whatever you've done, you can find redemption. And I will not leave your side again. I promise.
I thought I had found redemption, she whispers.
There will be time to talk. Stay close to me. Do nothing to provoke suspicion from my allies. Some of them are eager to mete out justice, but I will protect you.
She doesn't respond, but you get the impression that she's willing to obey.
Okay. I'll just take her by the hand and pull her away from the rest of the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm going to approach the group and say, this is my sister. I don't fully understand what's happened to her yet, but I plan to. I would counsel and ask that we show patience and mercy where we can. We do not know the stories of these here assembled. Much like her. They may be loved by someone. And that's all I'll say.
They surrendered willingly, and they did not take up arms against us. I don't think it's too much to ask.
Thank you. Declan's going to keep quiet and just take... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Abrashmina is going to take Effen's hands in her own and just kind of give them like a gentle squeeze, trying to comfort her.
Ethan pulls her hands out of yours and looks away.
She'll just kind of nod in understanding and then turn to Makud. Makud, are you all right? That was quite a battle.
Makud looks down at the fist-sized holes in him or something. Impact craters. He was tough. And he points at Declan. But I told you I could beat him.
That you did, friend. Took blows that would have felled any other mortal, I believe.
And that... It takes a god to kill me. Perhaps I will be new god.
One day.
It did not even succeed in that, and Abrashmina is gonna kind of take one of Makud's hands, the way she had just taken Ethan's, and she's going to use healing hands to give you a little more health back. So you'll be up to 28, I think. No, 29, because I leveled up, so it's 8 points of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 9 points of healing? 8 points.
8.
29 health then. Okay. So, it is a long way home, and we didn't bring enough food for everyone, and all the exits are closed. Or all the doors are closed.
I think the fact that we are missing exits is not a problem. For you, Makud. So what you did to the mine?
I don't. He hefts the huge hammer. Well, as long as we're ready to go, then I can begin my work.
I think
there may be supplies here to provide for these poor fellows.
And who knows what interesting things the preacher gathered.
They were brought here with supplies of their own. Perhaps they are further in with their trip back. So Abrashmina will kind of point to the doors that Declan sealed off with the wall of stone.
I'll release my concentration on that, and the wall disappear.
Yeah. Makud is charging at them, and then they disappear, and he just goes through the door.
So it lowers to reveal 2 doors either side that open into the same room beyond. There are living quarters immediately before you, and then a storage room beyond. The living quarters are one gigantic room with almost 150 beds in bunks of 3, just crammed into every space. Beyond this room are another massive room that's essentially just a warehouse full of boxes and all sorts of things. And above that is the preacher's private bedroom. But right now you're standing in
investigate that.
Right now you're standing in the quarters of the clergy.
Before we go further, should we search the body of the preacher and of the remains of Own?
Yes.
Searching the body of the preacher, you find his robes, which are non-magical, uninteresting. And you find his brass knuckles, these twisted red and black abominations that sit on his fingers. If you strip him off, you find a load of weird scars and tattoos, but I'm assuming you're probably not going to do that.
No. Well, take the knuckles, I think, so that no one else can have them. But, yeah.
So I'm gonna, while everyone else is searching, I'm gonna do a pretty detailed, investigation of the preacher's body. All his tattoos, his scars. I'm gonna do a sketch of his face, just kind of learn whatever I can from a forensic point of view about him.
Okay. So, make me an investigation check then.
Sure. That's gonna be a 16. Not great.
So below the neck, there is not an inch of skin that isn't isn't scarred or marked in some way.
A bit like Tambrin.
Yeah, exactly, but even more so. His back has been flayed with kind of the way you can see the scars falling. He's whipped himself. His thighs and calves bear the thousands of pinprick scars of cerise belts, one of which he is wearing now, and blood pours down his leg. You see his arms have been sliced over and over again with blades, and he's actually missing part of one of his fingers. You see his chest is burned and cut and scarred and branded, and he has tattoos of the lashed symbol just over and over again, as well as hot brands of the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be writing down any obvious iconography.
Yeah,
Things like that.
the only symbol you would see is that of the lash, that flayed man.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Spread eagle.
Is there anything in the remains of what was the Oracle?
There is the skin whip.
That's a big pass. Can I burn that?
Yeah.
Abarashmina is going to burn it.
Very well.
Jerky.
So while you guys are exploring, the Six Eyes are sort of rallying and marshalling the people, the clergy, just sort of like getting them in order.
Are they tying them up?
Yeah, binding them and that sort of thing, like making sure that they're not going to go anywhere, making sure they're not going to cause a scene. It's slow work, but they seem compliant, so it's easy.
So it sounds like we want to take them with us instead of leave them here. Is that what I'm hearing is the consensus?
So,
I mean,
If
if
we
you're not
can
going to
find
murder
enough
them,
I'm not
If
going to
they-
murder them, but we can
No,
just...
no. I was gonna say, like, if they have enough supplies to make it back on their own, they can make it back on their own because they got here somehow. So they should know the way back. They don't need us to guide them.
Well, I mean,
I
you
think-
remember that they were all led blindfolded by Tembrin.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
how
right.
people
Mhm.
were brought here.
I think we should give them the option.
Well, I think it should be one or the other.
It's a test from he who watches whether or not you make it back to it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, because if we take them with us, which is fine, we're just going to make a toddler chain with them to a big long rope. And then they're just going to walk in a line with us back. Or we just leave them here with whatever supplies they have. We won't take all of the food and water and stuff like that and say, do your best.
I don't know why it has to be one or the other. I feel like we could give them the option. Like, if you're coming back with us, you'll be, surrendered to the authorities or something. And if you're staying here, you're on your own.
Well, the thing about
that's
having them,
interesting.
the thing about having them stay here is they could, potentially come up behind us and free their friends that way.
I am
True.
okay with giving them the choice between the two options. I don't feel like it needs to be all or nothing for all of them. They can make their own choice.
Yeah. If they come with us, we'll see them safely through the desert, but they'll be surrendered to, the authorities or whoever we can trust, I guess. And if not, then, their lives are their own problem.
Okay.
are you going to are you going to declare that before or after we've checked everything out?
Let's check
What?
everything out first.
Well, I mean, they're being tied up right now, so they're not an issue.
Yeah.
Sure.
We need to see if there are supplies, because if there aren't supplies for them to make the trip back with us, or to stay, they have to come back because the only source of food will be Abrashmina creating it for them.
I mean, sure.
So, is the plan then to turn this place upside down and then make our decision?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, looking through the quarters, you see that there's pretty much nothing in there except beds. But when you go into the storage room, you find pretty much everything you'd expect. You know, bedding, clothing, robes, a whole hell of a lot of food and drink stockpiled.
Anything good?
Nothing particularly nice. It's all stuff that will last long. You know,
Gotcha.
grains, rice, what vegetables and that kind of thing they could muster. You also conveniently find 12 chests stacked at the far end. These are all unlocked but bolted. So clearly hold things of interest.
I will check everything for traps just to make sure there's no thing
Make
that's
me an
going to blow up in our
investigation
face.
check.
You got it. 22.
You find 0 traps.
There are no traps.
And there are 3 chests each.
Considering these are the ill-gotten gains of slavery, we may consider that perhaps the largest portion after we pay the 6 eyes who came with us be directed into efforts to help more slaves.
Well,
Or-
see what is in them.
Probably money. But yeah.
12 mimics. What?
I was going to say, which one is
Yeah.
a mimic? Or which 7 are mimics?
So, if each of you are opening 3,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take 3 D100s from each of you, but, you know, one at a time, if you all don't
Okay.
mind. Who's up first?
Brendan's alphabetically first, so she is.
God damn it! I'm looking for my dice.
You know mimics love alphabetizing things.
That's
Yes,
right.
they do. It's
Mimics
science.
a creature of order.
Actually,
Abrashmina will be up
Abrashmina
first.
is be first.
Oh, yeah. I was
'Cause that's
thinking
how
it was
the
Mina. My bad.
The alphabet works.
Okay, the
The
first
Ashari
one.
alphabet begins with B.
The first one is a 99.
Nice.
Oh, son.
99 million.
99. Okay. You open the first chest, and you find yourself a very nice wand. Looking over it, it's got these sort of multicolored jewels and like very pretty sort of carved runes and glyphs. It's a wand of magic detection.
Sweet.
Roll me another D100, please.
Wand of magic detection. All right. Next one is a 38.
38. Okay, you find 76 gold pieces in the next chest.
Okay. Big chest for little amount of gold. 87.
87. Indeed. Oh shit, okay. This one requires some judgment on the DM's part, so I should have thought of that before I let you have it. But there you
If
go.
it's the deck of many things, I don't want it. You can give
It's
me
the-
something else.
Declan of many things. No,
Only Declan is the Declan of many things.
it is not. It is.
Oh, my dog is snoring. It's very cute.
Jaw.
Okay, you reach inside, and this chest is actually more like a small lockbox. And you open it to find a small cylinder of jade, and you pop it open and pull out a scroll. And looking over that scroll, it appears to be a scroll of control weather.
Okay.
And those are your items.
What?
Thank you.
What was the last number you rolled? Sorry, Sue. Do you remember?
87.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Bryn,
I got a 53.
A 53.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, ma'am. A 53. I'm afraid grants you a potion of water breathing.
Yes.
And you see a small mark in the corner that is the mark of the store where it was originally purchased. Qual's potions and other things that you can also purchase.
Oh, yes. I had exactly the same thought that there'd be a business card at the bottom.
Yeah.
Thanks for
You see
buying.
his signature. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a curly Q. Your next roll, please.
84.
84.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Bryn with the fucking potions. You find a potion of vitality with the same
Okay.
mark.
This man is hiding. He's haunting me.
He is the preacher.
That's the one that he broke.
Yeah.
And then a 97.
A 97. On your last one, you open and you find a small kind of cardboardish box, like of white, and it's kind of like a cake box, like it's sort of white and folded. And you open it, and there are like layers of tissue paper that you pull aside, and you find this small, unassuming leather satchel. You find yourself a bag of holding.
Yeah.
Nice. I was for sure you were going to say there was like a little porcelain figure in there. One of those grandma figures.
Yes. It's very valuable, and it's a cat.
Declan.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. Oh, 99. Look at that.
Oh, okay. Well, to save you
Another
getting...
one of protection?
Yeah, another wand of magic detection. I will
Shiny.
instead... Oh, that one's cruel. Okay. I will not do that. I will instead say you reach in and find a small periact of health.
Is that how you say it? Periact?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Small,
Nice.
got like ruby heart on a chain.
Bling bling.
Is
Bling,
that the
bling.
one that stabilizes you?
No, it's the one that means you can't have any diseases.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Is that a attunement item?
No,
Nice.
you can't get diseases, and if you put it on while being diseased, it cures the disease.
Nice. 42.
42. In your next one, you crack it open. It's a small, like iron box, and inside are 84 gold pieces.
Okay.
And your last one?
80.
80. You reach in and find another of Carl's products, though this one is one that he invented himself. It's a Carl's feather token.
I think I have. Oh, no, I don't have that. Cool.
And finally, Makud.
94?
94. Oh. You find another one of Carl's potions. Seems like he's the premium seller. This one looks like a potion of healing.
Like a fancy one or a basic one?
Yeah, a pretty fancy one.
Potion of fancy healing is what
Is
I'm
it
putting.
supreme?
It is not quite supreme.
Greater?
It is a greater.
I'm not sure. Like, Makud wouldn't put this together, but it seems like this man is in business. Either they robbed him or, like, he is directly funded by the Lash for all potion needs. And I'm not sure how
Well-
to feel about that.
Britain might be having words with Refrigerator.
Maybe. I then rolled a 91.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This time, you find another scroll. But this is a scroll of glibness. Not that
Makud eats it.
Makud would know.
Tastes glib. That's an insanely high-level spell. From
It
what
is.
I know. Makud has no idea. Is it in a pretty jade case like the other one?
It is in an iron case with jade inlays.
Just, it might be worth something.
Defo.
Jade, what are you doing in this case?
I don't know.
We might be able to get some nice favors from some of our wizard friends for these scrolls.
Makud looks at you like, my scroll. How dare you? I then go... Sorry?
Rushmina put hands up and backs away. Sorry.
Not even finished. And then I rolled a 10.
A 10. A 10. You look through and you find another potion, though somehow this potion is better than the other one you find. It is a potion of supreme healing.
Interesting.
He's just has got both of the potions and he's just swirling them around and looking at them.
They are very pretty. Make me an investigation check quickly. Okay.
Okay. 11 minus 2 for 9.
Those are some nice potions.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at, like you said, there's grains and rice and things like that.
Yeah.
Do I estimate there's more than enough for the people to cross the desert?
There's enough for these people to last a good month.
Because I'm thinking that maybe we could portion out enough for them to, to travel or stay or whatever, and then the rest of it we could put in the bag of holding and take back and sell to help pay off some of our debt.
So is this everything we find after tossing the place? There's no hidden stash of slavery
This is
wages?
everything you find in the storeroom.
Okay.
The preacher's bedroom is still unsearched.
Okay.
Could I just ask the question, do any of the chests appear to have false bottoms or anything like that?
Make an investigation check.
Oh, I think it's a 1, Jade, but correct me if I'm wrong, please.
I will. Yes, it is a
Ow!
one. Oh,
Fuck my
sorry.
knee. No, I just bashed my knee real bad. 15.
There are no false bottoms that you can find. Or
Okay.
hidden compartments of any kind.
Okay.
Using all the
I am
fabrics if you
okay
like.
to go check the preacher's quarters.
Alright. So
If
his
everyone else is.
His bedroom is small, though there's a simple double bed and a large cabinet, as well as a writing desk with a few pieces of paper and a quill on it. What would you like to look at first?
Could I just investigate the whole room?
Yeah.
I would do that.
Guidance!
Oh, thank you. 24.
Okay. So you go over to the desk and you see that most of the paper is just kind of accounting for the food and supplies they have and that kind of thing. But you do see
Any
the
kind of
letter-
paper trail I will document and take.
Okay. You do see a couple letters from Kolo and Kizma and that sort of thing, or just status updates. Things you already knew about. Though one letter does catch your eye. It's different from all the others. The handwriting is shaky and very messy. And it says, Athelstan, I love you. I miss you. Please come home. We all forgive you. Love always, Mother.
What was the name?
Athelstan.
Athelstan?
I will put the whole letter in the chat for you.
I love you. I miss you. We forgive you. Come home.
We all forgive you. The Please Come Home was before that. Athelstan, I love you. I miss you. Please come home. We all forgive you. Love always, Mother.
That is a Lamentin name, is it not?
Declan, you would know it's a very specifically Dithoyner name.
Whoever Athelstan is, they are of Dithoyne. If my instincts are correct, this is the true name of the preacher.
I think that's a pretty safe bet.
A thread to follow. Anything else interesting in the room?
Yes. Inside the cabinet, you find two very nice baller-ass magic items. The first is a rapier. It has a golden basket hilt and a long, extremely fine blade. This rapier is the defender.
Ooh.
And you almost miss it, but with your roll, you see that down in the pocket of one of the robes, like sets of robes hanging in the cabinet, is a scarab of protection.
Sweet.
What does that do?
It's pretty good, I think. I can't
Yeah,
remember
the
right
scarab of protection especially is fucking bitchy. I will tell you that. Yeah, the scarab of protection is legendary. If you hold this beetle-shaped medallion in your hand for 1 round, an inscription appears on its surface revealing its magical nature. It provides 2 benefits while it's on your person. You have advantage on saving throws against spells, and it has 12 charges. If you fail a saving throw against a necromancy spell or a harmful effect originating from an undead creature, you can use your reaction to expend 1 charge and turn the failed save into a successful one. The scarab crumbles into powder and is destroyed when its last charge is expended.
And it requires attunement?
It does.
Okay. And so does the defender, I assume.
I believe so.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's +3 to attack rolls and damage. The first time you attack with it on each turn, you can transfer some or all of the sword's bonus to your AC instead of using that bonus on the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Jeebus.
So you can make, the example it gives is, you can, from that +3, you can make it only a +1, but then you gain +2 to AC for that round.
But you have to make the decision of how much you're taking off to defend yourself with
On the first
before
attack.
you announce, and before you announce whether or not it hits or misses.
Yeah.
So Declan would like to go through the accounting and see if he can find any evidence of where their money was invested or kept.
Yeah, it will take you a long time. There's a lot of paper.
Okay.
So it's probably not something to do here, but like you can definitely, you got a bag of holding now. You can just like stuff all the papers and then go through them.
Okay.
Does the wand of magic detection require attunement?
It does not.
Abarashmin is going to use it to see if there is anything else that's
Okay. Apart from the magic items, there is nothing else magical in this room.
And nothing else to find.
That is it. You have turned this place upside down.
Declan's just going to kind of take the defender's sword and, from the scabbard, hand the hilt to Bryn and say, I believe this would be best suited in your possession. And then he's going to walk out of the room and go find his sister again.
As you touch it, Bryn, you get a flash of an image that isn't from your memory. You see the preacher standing over a young man who clutches the rapier, and the preacher just lifts him up by his shirt and just punches the man's face until he dies and takes the rapier from his cold dead hand.
Bryn will sheath the rapier. Might have to look at this a little bit more closely before we make a decision about whether or not we're going to use it. There may be some powerful magics at work.
What are we doing with the Scarab of Protection?
I mean, Declan's got on him right now, but he's not necessarily holding
Okay.
onto it forever.
Abrashmina does not necessarily need it because she already has advantage on saving throws versus spells thanks to her shield, so that can be up to you three. Although my vote would be Makut because spells from undead and necromancers usually target stats that he does not do so good in. Might be. That's just me metagaming, though.
Well, we also have members of the Six Eyes to consider. They were also promised a share of this bounty.
Oh yeah, that's true. We did promise them stuff.
But yeah, Declan is going to be with his sister. So he's just going to kind of be off with her, sitting quietly, trying to talk to her. If she's not willing to talk, then he'll just sit with her.
Yeah, she's resolutely in silence unless she has to speak.
Figured.
Makud is going to stomp his way through all of the people and go knock the door out, if that's what we're going to do. Are we?
Hell yeah.
Makud would agree with Bryn's plan about loading up the food, etc., and selling the rest of it. He personally thinks it's stupid for anyone to stay here. Like,
An offer them that's choice, though.
we have
But-
destroyed this church once. What's to
Yeah.
say they would start it again without us?
This is
That's
true. Yes,
what
I
I
was going
feel.
to say. Thank you. That reminds me.
This
If
is
there
no
is
home to
any,
anyone.
if there is any kind of written rhetoric or manifestos or anything that like the preacher like wrote down, this is the last and the untested
Unholy Bible of the last.
yeah. If there's anything like that, Abrashmina is going to destroy it.
So, strangely, there is almost no written records, no holy texts. You get the impression that he's getting his scripture right from the source.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And if there's any kind of iconography or symbols,
Yeah, there's
she's
hella
going to
symbols.
she's going to destroy those as well.
Yeah, that's mundane. You can just do that.
Yeah, and if the cultists have any on them, Brashmina is going to take them and break them.
Okay. Yeah, they will give them up willingly.
I'm just imagining your puny arms like over your knee, trying to break
I know.
this symbol.
It's symbolic, man.
She's just handing them to Makud. Makud's eating them.
Yeah.
She's tolling the dead on them.
Yeah. It's a basically since it's like the whole impression that we got from Vale is if there's no one to remember or no one to see, then this can't happen again. And so she's trying to erase that because at least like the book in the library didn't have it didn't have the symbol. It just had the name. So she's making the effort to make sure that the symbols are destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay. Presuming everyone is ready to go, I'm going to smash this door, and then Makud is not going to let anyone stay. They can say whether they want to stay or not, but he's not going to let them.
Well, so we can take everybody outside, smash this place, and then say you can come with us, or you can take these supplies and find your own way.
Okay, you can do that if you want, but no one is sticking around the temple.
No, we're destroying the temple. It's a place of evil. But I mean, it's still an oasis, right? There's water, there's trees.
Mm-hmm. There's shelter from the sun with a cave.
Yeah. So a bit of magic and a bit of Makud strength. You can kind of collapse the entrance to
Once everyone's up, I'm going to knock the stairs out as best I can, or at least put a gap on either, so
okay,
people are going to
yeah.
struggle to get down, and then he might just smash errantly as he's leaving.
There's like a rumble behind them all as the stairs fall.
So how much of like the dry goods were we able to get?
All of it.
Um,
If you took long enough, you know.
I do want to ask how long it has been since Dune and the others have left.
It's been a few hours by now.
During that time, did we get a short rest?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Not that I can do anything on my sheet. More asking for Makub if you would like to take some time to roll hit dice.
I could in a
So
second.
you see the clergy. They're just standing there. They don't know what to do with themselves. Their lives were so clear, as though the only thing they knew for certain was this one fact and this one system of belief, and that's just been ripped away. And now they all just stand there looking confused, kind of screwing up their eyes against the light of the sun. No one speaking, just not knowing how to exist without the preacher.
You have all fallen prey to this man's charisma and his ability to convince you of things that were not true. You have lives that you can go back to, whether or not you realize it. There are other gods you can serve. Any atrocities committed in this man's name, he who watches sees all, and if you redeem yourselves, there will be no everlasting punishment. There is always the choice, Abrashmina says with like a little glance to Declan. The patterns of your weaves are not yet cut.
You see a lot of blank stares.
Declan will step up behind Abrashmina and just sort of stiffly say, "For those of you who wish to accompany us, we will return to Ashar. Your fates will be decided when we arrive, and it will be decided between we here. You do have the option to stay behind, here in the oasis, and find your own way if you so desire. We will leave you food and supplies, and whatever you need to survive, and make your own way." What time of day is it right now?
It's going to be kind of mid to late afternoon.
So just instinctively, based on our travel so far, what's the best time to travel? Tomorrow morning, or leave now and travel in the night?
I mean, it's extremely hot during the day and cool during the night, so probably easiest to travel during the night.
Okay.
So, that brings its own troubles with, seeing in the dark and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Not if we have Makub.
It's true.
We
will leave. Declan will kind of look to the six eyes and to the virtues and say, "We leave at sundown," and sort of like with a bit of a shrug, seeing if anyone's going to correct him.
Should we get them separated out at least? Who's staying and who's not, so we can decide who's getting how much of these dry goods we're leaving behind?
Have any of these broken people said anything or interacted at all with what's being said at them? Yeah, I didn't think so.
They are just standing there.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go.
You have 1 hour to decide. Then supplies will be divvied, and we will leave.
He says that. Do any of them make any motion?
No.
Not at all. Makut walks up to one ear.
Yeah.
To him and bends down close. Does it react in any way?
She turns her face towards Makut, looking at him as though she's seeing him for the first time.
He's I imagine kind of like an old man talking to a child, like hands on knees kind of thing, like leaning in, like, can you hear what they are saying?
Yes.
And what is your thought?
I don't know.
And if you were to stay here and die, what is your thought?
Don't know.
He like rears back up again, not like suddenly, and kind of like looks back to the others. I don't think they make their own choice. I think they come with us. You can give them an hour. I'm not sure it would make a difference.
Yes, well, perhaps they will feel better after a day or two. More like themselves. It cannot be easy.
Either way, there are charges, and we'll see them safely across the desert. How many of them are there? About 80?
Yeah.
78.
78.
And a couple, but one of them died now, right?
Yeah, so one died and one's Ethan, so 78.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think if we should march across the desert with a long line of. That's a lot of people to try to caravan across the. If we
It is
should,
a. Sorry, Hugo.
we should split them into columns.
As long as they are close. They are tied together already. I can just hold this string.
But I fear if an animal or a creature decides to attack, they could hit the middle of the column, and it would take us time to get there to defend them. How do your people normally travel?
Oh no, okay. He wasn't disagreeing that you should split them into columns. We travel close. We have much string, yes. They're all like tied up, I guess. It's like some of you at the back. I can go at the front,
Some in the middle?
and the rest in the middle.
I love
And he
that
nods.
food calls rope string.
I don't know. I said that the first. It just came into my head. It's also tiny to him.
yeah,
so like,
exactly.
he just like waves it. I imagine him like waving a bit around that's tied to a person or something. Like one of the ends.
So, is the plan just to take them all with you?
Wait an hour. I guess. Do any of them
I
respond?
mean, I'd like to give them a chance to respond. If they make no choice at all, then I mean, I guess that in
Yeah,
of itself is kind of a choice. I mean, like
Yeah, if they.
yeah.
No, I was agreeing with you. It's just like if they make no choice, then we have to bring them with us. So like I think 4 columns of 20. So like walk them 4 across and then 20. That's
probably
like
the
still
best.
like that's still easy to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Yeah, they will
Land,
just
land,
sit there,
land.
do whatever they're told. And when it's time to set off, they will just follow you.
We got
So
enough
none of-
blankets and stuff like that for them as well, right?
Yeah, like you can get the bedclothes, everything you need.
So nobody chooses to stay behind.
No.
Okay.
I don't think anyone really chooses anything.
You get the
Right.
impression if you'd have just walked away, they would have just stood around.
Yeah.
We just laid down and died.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Or stood there and died.
Yeah. And
Are any of
until-
them named
until-
Miranda?
Yeah, they would have stood there until someone either snapped or people start dying or got themselves out of this stupor. You're not sure, but there's no immediate decision making.
So as we travel, I think Amarashmina is going to be just singing some Ashari like songs, like lullaby type things that are like pretty plain and everybody should know.
Calming.
Yeah, just trying to be calming and remind them of, life before the preacher.
If they're in 4 columns all roped together, Makud will like tie the ropes to his horns or something.
Dope.
It's just going to keep walking, and I imagine they all kind of, if he didn't move, they would just stop. So it's like the motion is just carrying them forward.
Definitely.
Declan would suggest that before we set off, we take what loot we found and offer the 6 eyes each a pick, even if it means we lose out on some of the better items.
Yeah. So maybe the defender.
Well, I gave it to Jade, so at that point, it's up to her what she does with it. But.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember getting a rapier.
Well,
I've always had this rapier.
Yeah.
Makud, I was going to say, Makud should have picked up that bed. How good they were in Andrew's game.
Maya would be like, listen, I think for it to be fair, you guys should just give what you want to give to the 6 eyes and they'll pay us. We'll get our cut that way.
If that's what you prefer.
It just takes any fucking shit out of it. You know what I mean?
Does Taryn and the others agree?
Yeah, they're sort of like, that's kind of standard procedure. They sort of shrug and nod.
Very well.
So you travel on, and after about 2 hours, you see a corpse in the sand a ways ahead of you.
I'll dash ahead. I'll ask Makud to keep an eye on Ethan, and go check it out. I'll stealth up if I have to, if it feels appropriate.
You don't need to. There's nothing else alive around you.
Okay.
So you see this thing isn't human. It's very tall and very scrawny, canine, but very shaggy fur, or like matted shaggy fur, thin.
Is it bipedal at all?
It is. It looks to you like some kind of jackal.
Can I roll a nature check?
Yeah.
What's my nature roll? +5. So that's a 21.
Yeah, you've heard of these sort of like roving packs of scavengers in the desert. Jackal wares, they're called.
How does it look like it was killed?
Make me an investigation check or a medicine check.
Medicine check is a 19.
So immediately you see it's carrying this like very kind of rudimentary blade, and there's blood all along that blade. And you see it's got claws and teeth that are very sharp, and under the claws and in between the teeth is more blood. In its chest, you see an X of sword slashes, like 2 very quickly executed strikes. And about its face and shoulders, you see like sets of 3 scratch marks.
Like claw marks?
Yeah, like Wolverine. Like 3 claw marks parallel.
Snicked.
Yeah. And it looks like one of its eyes has been plucked out by something.
So it was killed and then mutilated?
No, you think this was part of the assault?
The assault?
Well,
If Makut has
It was
sidled up
fighting
to that
something.
point, that looks
There
like
was-
the marks of a giant bird. We know someone with a giant bird.
It's true. We think Dune did this then.
Some of it, and he kind of like nudges the X. I think he presumes that's probably from Madar.
Some fine dagger work.
It definitely
how
looks
long
more
ago?
like a sword rather than a dagger.
Or
Okay,
blade
she was
work.
covered in
Okay.
blades. I seem to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long dead is it?
Couple hours. It's very fresh.
And it took us 2 hours to get here, so
Are
yes.
there any tracks of other creatures like this?
Make me an investigation check.
Oh shit.
Would you like me to roll that?
Yeah, I'll help Jacqueline.
By the way, when I say Makud wanders up, he still has everyone tied to him, so
Yeah.
they all just shuffle up.
With advantage from the assistants, it is 25.
So you're following. You're walking in the tracks of Dune, and the slaves, and but you do see more canine footprints, kind of around that. And actually, like you look up ahead, and you see more corpses in the distance.
Move on forward to see if there's any of our people there.
You don't find any humans, but you do find more of these creatures. When you finally find all of them, there are 11 in total, all dead. Some with very clear dagger wounds, some sword slashed, some with their throats ripped out by some kind of beaked creature.
And you said a few of them had like meat and blood under their claws.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they have any healers with them?
Dune can heal a little bit, but apart from that, no.
Okay.
But up ahead, you see what looks to be a small campsite.
They may be in need of healing. We should hurry.
I go into a jog, and so do 80 other people.
Yeah. You arrive to find the slaves, Dune, and Madar all seemingly okay. Dune looks beaten to hell, as does Bree, his bird. But Madar looks untouched, and a couple of the slaves have small scratches and bite marks, but none of them look seriously hurt. Dune, though, is like he's like lying back. His head is in one of the kind of in the lap of one of the slaves, and they're like pouring water into his mouth. You see he's like got scratches on his face. There's like blood all along his arms, and his sword is like lying unsheathed next to him, and Bree's kind of just like peering down over him. Her feathers ruffled and like blood dappling her white fur or her feathers.
Declan will approach and say, "Well met, Dune. You've done well to keep them all safe."
Oh, hi.
Abrashmina is just going to kneel down next to him, pulling out the staff of Veil and to heal him up.
Yeah.
That will be 18 points of healing using the second charge.
You watch like the wounds receding on him, and like his breathing kind of becomes more regular, and he sort of blinks slowly and opens his eyes wider. Oh, hi, Abrashmina.
Hello. What did you learn?
What?
What did you learn this time? She kind of gives him a grin.
Oh, I learned that I don't really like the desert.
Well, upon your return to the city, you have a rendezvous with a handsome wizard. Something to look forward to.
You see him like close his eyes and kind of smile. Yeah, that's true. And, like the slave kind of holding his head, like turns to you, Declan, and kind of gives you like a meaningful look. And she says, "He was amazing. He moves very fast, and they could not really touch us. We wouldn't all be here if it weren't for him."
He is a paragon of both skill and courage. We all owe him a great debt.
You see Madar like standing kind of off to one side, like arms crossed, watching the scene.
Bryn will
Oh, go ahead.
Bryn will approach her. Are you all right? Wounded?
No, I'm all right. She kind of gives you like a small smile. Well, they were quite clumsy, so I'm okay.
Thank you for protecting them.
She kind of like demurs slightly. I just killed a few of them. I didn't exactly put myself in harm's way. Not like him. Nods to Dune.
It's actually my experience that it is best to avoid their claws if you want to survive to fight another day.
She kind of chuckles at that. Well, yes, I tried to tell him, but it seemed he was hell-bent on putting himself in the way.
Are there any others we could arm to help protect us? Or do you think the slaves are all pretty much...
I don't know. They seem to get better every hour, but I think it is still... It's hard. It's hard for me too, and I'm trying not to show it, but I'm struggling a little bit.
It's a little jarring to see the sway he had over them, over his people.
Shivers. The control he had, I've never seen anything like it.
He's dead now. I opened his throat myself.
You did?
Yes.
Like grab you and just arms around your neck, like pull you into a very tight hug.
Well, I said he was gonna die. I mean...
She begins like sobbing softly.
And then Brenda just realized, it's best just to let her cry.
Yeah. And she'll like pull away, sniffing a little while later, and like wipe her eyes. Sorry.
It's alright. He was a monster.
It was.
It'll take some time to get over the things that happened.
Yes. It will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You go ahead, Dan.
I think while this is going on, like Makood goes to the camp and like sits down, and then realizes that all of like the chains of people are going out into the camp, and they're not like going out of the camp and not sitting down. So then he like carefully, like some sort of dog or cat, something like goes round the camp in a circle, so they kind of get tighter into the camp, and then like goes, and then like is doing like the hand motion for sit, and if they don't sit, he's gonna go around each of them, all like 78 of them, and just like push them down gently.
Yeah, no, they'll sit if he motions for them to.
Okay.
They're very compliant at this point.
And then he's gonna
Oh.
sit at the end of them with the rope still tied because he doesn't trust them to wander away or not wander with him.
The were jackals, do any of Dune's wounds look like they might be infected or anything like that?
Make a medicine check.
Okay.
I'll assist. I
What
don't know who has better medicine, but
what is my modifier, Jade?
That's a +5 for you, friend.
I'll assist that.
it is sort of my speciality.
That's right. This is an intelligence one.
Natural 20 for a 29.
You see a few looked kind of septic, but as soon as the healing staff was used, that's all fixed.
Are there any signs of any disease that's set in? Perhaps a wear disease?
Do I need to use the lesser restoration charge on this staff to help him get better?
Bung the periapt on him, but no. So you would know that jackal wear are not were jackals. They are creatures in and of their own right.
Got it.
Okay, good. And as Abrishmina is helping Declan kind of like go over the wounds and stuff, she's going to say to Dune, it's like, I know that your priest tells you that you should sacrifice your body to save others, but I do not think you should be in such a huge hurry for it. Perhaps you could help people and not bleed so much.
Either
She's like trying to joke around with him.
He will completely miss the joke and say, it's either I bleed or they bleed. And I made my choice.
Yes. Well.
I admire your compassion. Sorry to cut you off.
No, just be careful, she says, like thinking of the way Ramiel kind of ignored arrows and all of the other things. It's like we should not be in such a hurry for the next step of our journey.
You sort of get the impression it's sort of a not defining trait, but a common denominator with a lot of Asimar, that
willingness to sacrifice.
Because they're told that they're this sort of, heroic chosen of their god, they have to prove that, and the best way to prove that is to put themselves in harm's way. And like often they live short, self-destructive lives to try and do their best to live up to their heritage.
Still, she tries to counsel caution, whether or not he listens.
You get the impression Ramiel would be very impressed with him, not with caution.
I mean, I killed a god, but it's doomed to me.
I mean, he's impressed by that, but he wouldn't be as impressed with you. Be careful.
Once Declan is done checking out his wounds, he'll say, I, for one, am quite impressed with your compassion and your bravery. If there were more in the world like you, the world would be a better place. And then he'll just kind of go back to Ethan.
Yeah. As you're leaving, Dune will just like murmur, like, it would be a much more awkward place.
Well, that is just the heavy injury talking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not.
I'm going to begin setting up tents and laying out bedrolls for the slaves and the cultists, and I'll set up a tent for myself and Ethan, and once it's all set up, I'll spend the rest of the night in there with her, talking if I can, and not talking if she doesn't want to.
She'd be loath to, but if you pressed her, she would speak. So that's up to you.
Not tonight.
Okay. I'm just saying at least one point in all of that travel that McCood would be just to you, who I imagine was near the front scouting anyway, but walking with your sister, he would have been like, "Are you sure you don't want her on this string? She could wander off somewhere."
I will be with her. And look to her and say, always.
And then run off after a jackal corpse.
If need be, I suppose.
He would very earnestly just offer for her to be part of it because he feels that anyone who is tied to him is safe. So he would have offered, but
Not super comfortable tying her to you.
No, I know you wouldn't be, but he didn't necessarily say it that way. But
No, I hear you. Thank you.
sure.
And so late morning comes. Are you sleeping through the day? Or are you going to get up and go again on less sleep?
I mean, that was the early evening, was it not?
Yes,
Based off the
but
timeline.
yeah, so you walked for a long time. So you stopped after midnight.
Oh, okay. You didn't describe the transition into night, so I thought it was still the day.
Yeah, I mean you were walking for hours and hours, maybe.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you now.
At some point in time in the evening, Bryn would have spent time with the sword to identify it and make sure that there was no nasty surprises, given that it, kind of flashed that vision.
So yeah, upon identifying it, you find no darkness within the sword itself, just that echo of a memory that it holds.
Okay. Bryn will feel comfortable using it then. The sword that I've had this whole time.
Aburashmina is going to pray for the slaves and the cultists when they stop to rest.
All right.
Are you doing that in public or in private in your tent?
She would be praying out because she would want to see the night sky while she prayed.
Okay.
For something as important as this, so she would be out and about.
Okay. I just wondered if there was if it was a vigil thing, if they reacted to religious, performance.
Yeah.
No,
I think she would kind of walk up and down McCrood's line, kind of looking at each of their faces, trying to commit each to memory as she prayed for each of them. So it's kind of one of those, she's making a point of witnessing each of their faces and sending up a prayer for each one individually. So that's 78 plus Ethan plus all of the slaves, because they are all bearing their own scars and what have you. And
so the clergy wouldn't react, but the slaves would beam at you and be very grateful. You get the impression, they may not be the most religious people normally, but just the compassionate nature and the personal nature of your prayers does a lot for them, morale-wise, at the very least.
That is good. That was her hope.
Sweet. Um,
Thank you for asking, Dan.
not a problem. I just thought would be interesting if it worked that well. Then, I, as they don't seem very capable of themselves, Makud will put them all to bed, and I'm just going to presume there's enough rope for them to fit in like tents. I don't know, 2 or 4 to a tent or something. And Makud is just going to like put them into tents, and there's just going to be a rope going out of one tent mouth and into another.
Yeah, it takes a long time to set up, but the slaves help, and
Okay.
you can erect enough tents.
Otherwise, they're going to get hopefully burnt or cover or something. And then I guess Makud will go to bed. I guess he will. At
We
some
should definitely
point,
set up watches for sure.
he'll probably take the first watch.
Yeah, I mean the 6 eyes will help, so you basically
Sure.
only
How
need
many
to
of the 6 eyes are there total?
there's Taran, Eli,
Maya.
Thal, I think.
Yeah. And now we have Dune.
So-
he's kind of out of commission.
So-
Yeah, just out of commission.
8 people, we could take 4 2-hour watches, two people on watch.
Sure.
Declan would volunteer to take the first watch with Makud if that's amenable.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saying before, like, well, if Dune is conscious, or at some point that Dune is conscious, Makud is gonna like pat him on the back or something, and be like in Makud's quiet voice, which is not that quiet, like, "You did well, little man. You will lead. They will all live because of you."
Oh, thank you, Makud. That's kind of you to say.
And he kind of like looks at the wounds, and I guess he would have rested at this point, but they're probably like, I know I haven't rolled the dice or whatever, but he's probably full health. But I imagine there are bruises or something, and he'll be like, "You're not the only one to take the hits of others."
I guess that's just our lot in life, isn't it, Makud? I'm okay with that.
And he doesn't necessarily know how important this might be to him, but like he get him sitting next to Dune in the sand. He's like, all steps on the way to godhood, and he kind of like is a bit like jokey about it, and like nudges him.
And Dune would sort of chuckle and say, "Well, I'd worship you, Makud, if you were a god."
He like looks out into the starry sky, and he does his little thing where he like rolls his fingers like if he was playing with a coin, and the sand kind of like swirls around the fingers in front of them both, and maybe there's like little patterns or shapes or figures or something, and he goes, "Maybe sooner than you think. Did you know I saw a dragon?" And he's just gonna, we can transition that into watch if you want.
I like it. So yeah, I'll take a perception check for the watch.
Deck, you can be on deck as well. I just wanted to have my word with Dune. 13.
Sorry, 25. I forgot I was muted.
No worries. Yeah, you see the watch passes uneventfully.
I imagine in the quiet, Makud would sort of pipe up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So you found your sister, and she is alive, well?
She is alive, but not well. She was a different girl just a few short months ago. Her eyes were kind and alive. I loved her. I love her very much, but I fear for her, Makud.
She
I'm
is safe now.
ashamed.
Oh,
Sorry, no.
no, you go.
I am ashamed to send her back to her father in this state. It was my arrogance that brought her here. My hubris.
It. She's safe now. She's just over there, and he kind of like points at the tent. It was those things and more that brought her back. You are more than just arrogance and hubris. And he like purposely doesn't quite get the word. Mina has gifts, and we know of a few temples. They might be able to undo what was done to her by religion, by the divine. Well, I wouldn't say like by the divine, but by gods.
If that's what they were. The universe is a cruel place that would bend the mortal heart to such dark purposes.
It does not always need to be a god for it to be religion. It's what people believe in. But they can believe again. It can be undone. And he like
For
gives
that
you
I
a
pray.
smile.
For that I pray.
You pray to me?
If I thought it would help, Makud, I would pray to you every day. But I do have faith in you.
That is a similar thing. I don't know if I have those gifts yet. And he like, makes some like arm movements, like trying to towards the tent that she's in. We will see her right. And all of these people. Look at all the people that you saved. All of these people that did not die because of your actions.
For that I am glad. And I am glad to know you, Amaru too. You have a gentle wisdom about you.
He kind of like looks at you, head cocked slightly to the side. Not often. Often I am the opposite of those things.
Your arm is not gentle, but your heart. That, I think, is possessed of great gentleness.
I think he twangs one of the strings on his horns because he's not untied them. You see people just as safe as I do, and though we must sometimes do the violent thing, it does not have to make us dark. And he will like big finger, like just prod you in the chest. Does not have to make this dark.
Am I then blessed by the great golden calf. Bull, excuse me.
Either or, and always. As long as you walk this path, always. And he kind of like glimmers, and I don't know. If he had the heroism thing up, I think he might cast it right now, just because he. Maybe you feel some warmth, or maybe there is some sort of comfort coming from the sands or something.
It smells like musk, but it feels like comfort.
Sure. And then I guess he'll kind of like sit back a little bit, like huge forearms on his knees or something, and just stare off into the desert. And he'll start like idly playing with the sand. Only the sand is like several feet down from where his hands are, and it like comes up to meet him in like little fountains and wisps.
Declan quietly enjoys Makood's company.
And your watch passes that issue. And then Maya and Thal will take a watch together at some point. When that is up to you. And the rest of you can either, say the rest of you, the other two, you can take a watch together with one of the Six Eyes. That's up to you who you want to take a watch with.
That's your Cassie.
I am not bothered. Abrashmina would like to take the last watch of the night, I think, just so she can still have like the night sky like, before it goes into dawn, and so she can have her spells and what have you before she starts her watch. So that's up to you, Jade, if you want to wait for me. No, I'm not bothered.
I mean, yeah, I guess they'd take a watch together.
Yeah.
Sorry, C.
You're fine. Why are you apologizing?
I'm not apologizing.
Okay. I'm confused now. Yeah, so we take our watch together. Now, Abrashmina will ask Bryn how she is doing. You have your mother, you have your friend Holly.
That was
Things
a
are
bit
going.
of a surprise. I did not expect her to be there.
How much of your family did you lose?
There were definitely several people that were killed by the slavers, but it was kind of hard to get a accurate count. Some of the bodies were burnt. It's hard to identify them.
Do you think you found all there is to find?
I don't know. I mean, I'll have to talk to the others to find out.
Your mother will be better with time. She just needs to heal. It will leave a mark. I will not lie. But I do not think that she is all gone.
It's hard to believe that. I looked into her eyes and I didn't see her.
I have faith. It will be better for you. It will be better for Declan. Your past will not have taken you all this way for nothing, I hope.
You know, I used to think the worst thing that could happen to her was that they made her a comfort slave. How messed up is that?
There are lots of ways in which someone can hurt another. It is a thing mortals are very good at, finding ways to hurt others. But the only one of the ways of fixing those wounds is by showing them that there are people who care.
Can I ask you something? And I don't want you to take offense.
You may ask me anything.
How do you see this, see all of this, and not want to topple it over? How do you see any good in this? Or anything to defend?
What I see when I see all of that, and she kind of like nods ahead towards like the train of cultists. Those are people who have lost their way. There is a festering wound in the Shar, and it is not something that can be healed by blood or by cauterizing it. It must be filled with something else. And I have seen that not all are like that. Not everyone in the Shar is one who would lash their fellows to feel good about themselves. Even in my temple, where there were not very, very kind people, there is still one priest, Khalid. He never failed to make me laugh. He had a story for everything. He was much like you. Stories and anecdotes that, you know, I had been there for so long that I had heard them all, but he always found a new way of telling them.
I understand. I get seeing the good in everything, but you can't own another person. You're right, it's a festering rot, but
Not everyone in Ashar owns people. It's I am not quite like the others in the Shar. There are those who get, I don't know how to explain it, but it is not something I like or agree with. No, no one should own another. But it has it's been away for so long that it is hard to see past that. But I also see all the good things besides. You cannot burn out something like slavery forcefully without taking some of the good. It is not. I don't know how to explain it well.
sometimes you've got to take some of the good if it means you're going to cut the rot out. I don't know, it's just vague. It's very complicated. Because I see the good. I see good things here. I see good people here. But every day I'm just, something reminds me of some of the bad.
I feel like there is an important part of Ashar that has been forgotten. Like, when I see things, I see it is like we are missing something, but I do not know what it is. I think there is an unhealthy worship for those XXI, the elves in the castle. People get elf sick. Like dragon sickness. The lust for gold. There is the lust to please.
I get that. It's dangerous when you're putting people on a pedestal like that. What you're willing to do to please them, or to be like them.
It
It's
is
sick
something.
sometimes.
It is something perhaps that I see because I am what I am. I am not. I am connected to an actual God, for better or for worse. I can feel that in me. So whenever I see the worship that some Ashar have for the elves, when I see it as the obsession with something false. But I am one voice among many, and I sometimes think I am the only one that feels this way.
We're all looking for something to fill the void. People prey on that.
According to the stories, they came from the sky and brought the oasis with them.
Yeah, I've heard stories like that. Sure, there's a grain of truth to everything, but
We all must worship them because they are what brought the oasis to us. Oh, so the stories say. But they have no respect for us mayflies who live below the palace. No respect for our gods. And there are too many temples that are blinded, like Gurat, obsessed with furthering their own influence and power.
it is,
Ashar is soul sick, I think.
and
But
the rot runs deep.
it is not something that can be changed overnight. And I know it does not quite make sense to you or Declan, who have not been part of it. But there are some that see that Ashar needs to change. Men like Shurat and Uluri and Sigi. Sigi is not from us, and she remains, perhaps because she hopes to make a difference here. I sincerely hope that she does.
I think you're right. Let's focus on the people that are working for change.
As they say, you must be the change you want in the world. Yes, I have heard this one. Is this from Lament? You be the thing you want to be, or you want...
Be the change
No,
you want to see in the world.
there it is. It is not an Ashari saying, but perhaps it should be.
It's a good one.
If we want compassion, then we must show compassion. Like Declan says, But we should also not turn other cheeks and allow us to... What is it? It is a double-edged sword. You must hold it carefully. You must be compassionate, but you cannot also be a doormat.
I think I get what you're saying. We have to practice mercy. If we run around practicing an eye for an eye, eventually we will all end up blind.
Abrashmina nods.
But at the same time, it's prudent to not let your enemies circle you.
Abrashmina spreads her hands, palms up, and she says, "There must be balance."
There must be balance. Thank you for answering my question.
You're very welcome, Bryn. Brynhild of Eric's daughter, is that it? Yes?
Yes.
And scene.
That was very good. I think we'll take a quick 5-minute break here.
Now that everyone's asleep.
Yeah, I gotta go splash water on my face.
Sorry.
Nah, I'm kidding. I very much enjoyed that.
I'll be right back.
BRB.
Yeah, I gotta go get me some gin.
Rob, are you present?
Nope, just me. Sorry.
Okay. He said it was it was like a multi-month journey to get here from Dithline, you said, right?
He said it had been 3 months or more
Since she was taken.
Since she was taken, yeah.
So it's a month or two to get here. Because we've been doing this for about a month, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a fair bit of distance on the map.
Yeah.
So even if you were sailing direct, and you would probably sail along the coast to the easiest point and then cross over it. If we're being accurate, it's probably
right, because Dithline is landlocked, right?
No,
Yeah.
Dithline is coastal.
Oh, okay.
But it's just not a close coast. It is still quite far.
Right.
Yeah. The only place further from Ashar is there's Bajorka, and I think Aristan maybe might be north of Dithline, and then Frosthaven. So Dithline's pretty far.
Declan's got some hard choices to make.
Oh, with Hangouts going away or whatever, the live thing.
Yeah.
Are you able to figure out a way of recording these?
Yeah,
still?
I've got it sorted,
Cool.
dude.
Sweet.
Just gonna stream them through OBS because I have OBS open anyway.
Okay.
So the only thing is, in the video, there won't be any of your guys' overlays.
That's not a big deal to me.
In the Hangout, I won't have an overlay.
Okay.
But do we get views on these videos?
No.
I was more asking for. I can't take pitch perfect notes of everything Makood does.
Yeah.
When it's Makood focused scenes, but I can get everything else. So I just need to drop in and
Yeah, it's just an archive, for us to go back and look at stuff. I like having them on.
And excuse you, sir, we have views.
like all of them
Liam.
are you just going in to clarify stuff, though, aren't they?
No, I actually have stopped doing that since Dan's notes. So I don't. That's all. Those are real views, my dude.
All right.
Be proud.
I know Chex was watching for a little while in the keep sessions, right?
And Liam.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab a drink. Be right back.
I mean, last one had 1 view. The one before that had 4. The one before that had 1. They all get 1 view.
They are not me.
We have to
2 of
start
them have
busting
0.
out all the stops and doing the fan service.
Somehow the last Lords of Chaos, the finale, got 68.
They're all me.
Just
Well,
watching it over and over and over again.
We did advertise that one on AbTab.
yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
like completed the campaign. Blah 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 blah.
The first one's got 94, though.
Nice.
Now, one of those were me checking it for notes.
I think my
Whenever-
most viewed video has like, there's the XSplit one on how to do it with Hangouts. And there's like another one on how to like, back in the day when you could put like YouTube videos in Hangouts and everyone sees the YouTube video at the same time so you can like listen to music together.
Mm.
There was one on that and they got like a few thousand each. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
I don't have a song for that.
Back in the day when I was a young kid growing up, dreaming of being a rock superstar and living large. I think that's Cypress Hill.
Nice.
Declan, the rap superstar. He's a rap god.
That's right.
You heard it here,
I'm the
folks.
Dithonian rap legend.
Dylan is playing a bard in the next campaign.
Oh, you don't want to hear me play a bard. It's a lot of singing.
I mean, you didn't sing as Jonah.
Well, he was not a singing bard. He was
That's
basically
fair.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Hashtag not that kind of bard.
Exactly.
Hashtag not that kind of bard.
Hashtag bard so hard.
Plus, if
Hashtag
you're gonna
bard
really
box.
pull off the singing bard, like in game, and not do like the Sam Riegel like reworded pop songs, you have to actually like write songs,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
which is maybe more work than I want to do.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you know, no excuse because I wrote a song.
I mean, you're a better person than I am. I thought I've established that multiple
I'm a
times.
better person than most people, though. So
That's what I'm
don't
saying.
beat yourself up over it.
I mean, I wrote a song, but I didn't sing it.
Again, I'm just better than.
Oh, that's it, guys. I'm going to bless you all with my beautiful singing voice.
Do it.
I need more liquor.
I can lay down a beat for you.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm,
Flying solo on this one.
Makud is the crowd with his like 80 or so people. I just imagine that like he lifts one arm and like they all go up and down.
I just imagine Mood as this like macabre puppet master who's like he's clapping and everyone else's hands are attached and just clapping.
Yes.
But Makud, like if
He's
you guys
doing it
were
out
like
of
a doo-wop group, like Makud would be the boom boom boom.
Yes. Here's the
bass.
the bass tenor. I don't know.
No, the lowest is bass.
Okay.
Tenor is
It's
the
all about
highest
that bass.
usually,
In the
unless you've got
barbershop
soprano in
quartet.
there. In an all-male barbershop
Soprano.
quartet, your high is a tenor.
Right. Okay. I have very little knowledge of musical terms.
This is why he should play the bard. Because he knows words. Let me throw some words at you.
Staccato, legato, haha.
Makud is just like, no, I am tenor. You can't tell him any otherwise.
Makud's
Tenor
like,
sing lead,
fine.
right? I am.
if I can't be the tenor, I will be the 11er.
All the way up to
That is
11.
bigger number. But morning comes, you have to sleep in a little bit to get your full rest. but there are no incidents, no attempted escapes. And as you break down camp, which does take a long time, the clergy don't seem quite as distant. You see them sort of looking a little more alert, taking in their surroundings, rather than just, all having 1,000-yard stares. They're sort of like looking around a little bit, still not saying anything particularly, but there's a cognizance there that wasn't there before.
Abrashmina is going to cast Sending
Mm-hmm.
to let Alluri know that everyone made it out okay and that we are on our way back. And ask how Kaya is doing.
Allura will respond with, that's fantastic. Sharat and I will have some people ready to help deal with the influx of slaves and clergy. As for Kaya, she is still quiet, I'm afraid. But physically, she's okay.
Abrashmina will let Bryn know that her mother is doing okay.
Thank you.
Now, my question is, are you guys going to try and head back to Kalarsa before the city? Because that will be slightly out of your way now because they'll have moved on. So it will add to your time if you go to them.
My feeling is that we probably should just head back to the city straight away.
I'm good with that. Does Makud have one of his many mental paths that leads from
Yeah, of course.
where we are to the city? Cool. We will. We can talk to them another time.
Because we have over 100 people with us now, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be strange to bring this many friends.
I do not think that they could have Shagar for all of us.
Shagro. Can't remember.
What was that?
I think it's Shagro or something.
Yes.
Anyway.
I'll try and remember it off the top of my
Yeah.
head.
But over the next few days, trudge back to the city. And when finally you arrive, keeping in touch with Alluri and the Six Eyes, you find almost the entire cohort of the Six Eyes waiting for you. Sharat, Siggy, and Alluri standing at the center with what looks to be about 30 people on either side of them, all in various types of leather armor. And as you arrive, Sharat kind of approaches and the other two follow. And he will just say, you have done more for the city than anyone else has in a very, very long time. You have all of our thanks.
It would not have been possible without the bravery of the Six Eyes and your commitment.
He nods and holds out a hand for you to shake.
Accepted.
Very well.
Makud leans in and just goes, I know they're not dead, but maybe they're still worth something.
Sharat grins at you. Yes, I think so. And then he'll turn to sort of everyone else and say, so Do you have a plan for what to do with these people? We'll help where we can.
During this time, has any of them, like, what is their mental state after a week of travel in the desert?
It's
And
been slow,
Mhm.
but they have started to converse quietly with one another.
Mhm.
Not about anything meaningful, but they might ask for someone to pass them a water skin now, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So
They
my thought is we should offer them another choice. Basically give them a path of rehabilitation, either working, set either like a dollar amount or some other benchmark for them to reach where they are required to give themselves in service to something, whether it's the Six Eyes or a temple or some other, redeeming bit of social service, civil service to the city, or exile.
We
You're
can't
not
ask.
welcome.
We can't ask or say that they're going to be punished by any kind of authority because we don't have the authority to make sure that they get punished
Right.
if we don't have proof that they've committed any crimes. So yeah, I think tell them that they offer services to it, like Declan said, to a temple, like go and to like any of the temples, maybe go to the Bell Witch's tower and help restore it as like part of a thing, maybe.
McCood will suggest that we should franchise the Mirage out, and we can have 80 of them working in franchises across the city. We've got a lot of debt to win back. No.
I don't think that's a bad idea, honestly. I mean, if the mission is ultimately to be a positive presence in Ashar, then they could be of service in that regard. Like if you want, we'll find lodging and safety for you in the city as long as you're willing to work in repayment of your debt, or get the fuck out. You're on your own, basically.
Though McCood, I think would like the Bell Witch is looking for people to believe in her. These people are good at believing in things.
Of course, but we can't coerce them.
No, but we could. She wanted people to know of her.
I believe that is a perfectly viable thing to offer.
I think it's irresponsible to free them from one religious fanatic to give them to another religious institution unless they willingly go.
Agreed.
We're not going to force them to believe. Just maybe they are looking for something to believe in.
Yeah, but the Bell Witch's temple is like something that needs like actual repair and stuff. And there are like other places around the city, like around the docks. There are all of like those abandoned buildings that could be built back up. And so like I guess like during like the course of our walk back, these are like things that we could have been discussing with them.
Any of them have any usable skills like carpentry or?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so there's definitely like a selection. I would say that in Ashar, there are not many carpenters, but builders. There are a few builders. There are a couple of like Lamentans who have some like minor skill in carpentry, some basic kind of tradescraft, maybe a blacksmith or two. So there's definitely people with skills.
Have any of them voiced a desire to do anything?
The slaves all just
Well, the
want
slaves can do whatever they want.
Yeah, the
I'm
slaves
talking-
want to get out of here. The clergy are not at that stage yet.
So I think probably somewhere on the walk back, maybe a day or two out from the city, we could offer them like, here's the deal. There are You either choose a path of redemption and service, and in which case we will offer you our protection and a place to stay and be safe in the city, or you can get on a boat and leave, and make your decision before we reach the gates of Ashar.
Yeah, because they can go to Lament just as easily as they can go stay in Ashar. And like he said, like if they're willing to try and redeem themselves here in Ashar, like offer a endorsement or sponsorship and to either a temple or the Six Eyes for work, or as I'm sure like Sharat maybe know of some public service institutions that would take volunteers as a city council member, not necessarily working for the Six Eyes, but perhaps working for like the city council.
So he definitely would, but these people
Still aren't at the stage where they can make these kind of decisions.
They're not going to be proactive. They've just had their lives kind of shattered. The last thing on their mind is finding work, whatever.
Well, we're not going to necessarily ask them to make any choices beyond stay or go.
The buildings around the Mirage, they were up for sale, or abandoned. If we took them over, you could give them some rest, a place to stay. They would be close, could be looked after.
I want to make sure they don't fall victim to slavers. These kind of people would be very easy to scoop up.
Can I do like an insight check or like a wisdom check as to what like the best, or what Aprashmina might think would be a good course of action to take with these people? Not necessarily the best. And I know like this is something that like I don't think divination would help her at any point for this.
I'll let you make insight, yeah.
Because it's definitely going to take more than 7 days to achieve this goal, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my inspiration. And that's not bad. That's not bad. Insight, that's a 26.
Damn. So these people need time to process what's happened to them more than anything. You reckon, given a simple kind of structured existence for a little while, let them sort of have the comfort of, not feeling abandoned by everything, and giving them something to just focus on in the meantime, let their wounds heal. You think that they're not going to want to, if you told them you could stay or leave, almost all these people are Ashari, they'll stay. But as for what to do with them, it's a difficult question. You get the impression that finding them work or finding them something simple to do would be a good course of action, something to take their mind off what's happened to them, give them their own existence for a while, slowly help them to become self-sufficient again.
Okay, so yeah, then like the idea of like Makud's idea of giving them space around the Mirage.
Yeah, you think that's a good idea.
Okay. And just giving them like simple tasks. Like, I don't know, going and fixing up an abandoned building, clearing it of graffiti and clearing out rubble and
like that seems to you like exactly the sort of thing they should be doing. That like cleaning up the docks, there's always,
The Bell Witch.
Yeah,
quiet
help the
people.
Bell Witch's tower. Maybe have them go help clean up the Bakar.
Hmm.
I think just going around and helping like clean up
Yeah,
community service type cleanup
exactly.
is what these people kind of do.
Shurat would be happy to kind of take control of that
Okay.
and sort of apportion that up, make sure they're all fed, and like looked after. I mean, probably the first job for them all would be Shurat, or the Six Eyes would try and acquire the buildings around the Mirage, and then help them use their time, help the clergy use their time to fix up those buildings and make them habitable.
Mhm.
But yeah, just like keeping them busy, keeping them moving.
Do like during like the course of like our travel, did we find out if any of them? I kind of assume none of them don't really have any families because that's kind of what cults kind of look for, or people with no kind of
Yeah.
physical tie or familial ties.
So if anyone does or did have families, they're like very ostracized from them. They don't like talking about it because a lot of them might feel guilty for abandoning their families. But
Mhm.
yeah, there's a lot of orphans, a lot of like street kids.
Yeah.
Lots
Like,
and lots of sad stories.
Abrashmina would be telling some of Khalid's stories during like the travels and stuff, and so that seems like a very good idea. Like having Shurat help
And he was
organize.
this young man with a ginger beard or blonde beard.
Yes,
was
I
it?
knew. I
And then
knew
he
a young
died.
man. Yes,
Yes.
I knew
That's
a
what I
young
thought when you talked about the stories. I just imagined Morgan.
man. This is not what I
Did he
was
die?
thinking of,
Yes.
but 100%. That
And he
is what it
died.
is now. He's just this big, bald up top, but like this giant bushy beard
Mhm.
Ashari man now who always smells of cafe. And like he's just always telling stories about these young men and women that he knew when he
Maybe
was
she
younger.
omits the they always died part, but
I know, and he would say something like, "Then they're in the arms of the Watcher," or something slightly
Yeah.
more religious, probably.
Yes.
Um, I have two things. After like Mina acknowledges that Makud's idea was the best idea, he feels really smart, and he's gonna like lean over to Bryn and like tap his nose and go, "Keep them close," and look happy with himself. But he also has something else that all of this conversation has I don't know, spawned in his mind. He like at one point in whatever is going on, he would like suddenly, sort of excitedly, just take Bryn by the shoulder with one hand and just be like, "I have an idea."
Oh, this is going to end either brilliantly or poorly.
You were worried that your mother is not herself.
Yes.
What if she felt like she was at home? Why not take them to Ube's place so she can be cold again, like your home? Yes.
That's actually surprisingly
A very good idea.
it is.
Makud had two good ideas. Quickly.
No.
Declan,
Now
write this down.
How huge you were before.
Declan writes everything down. Don't worry.
This is a momentous occasion. Two good ideas.
And he's gonna like almost be bouncing a little bit like a kid or something. He basically wants to go with you and do that at the nearest convenience or inconvenience.
So we've settled the
Clergy.
clergy. The slaves are. The Six Eyes will make arrangements to return them to where they need to go.
yeah, they are, very much in the, trying to return the slaves to normality. So wherever in Lament they want to go, they will go. Holly and Kaya will stay for the meantime until Kaya's a bit better.
So she's well enough to travel.
Yeah.
Then there is the issue of Madeir.
She doesn't really know what to do with herself. Obviously, the Six Eyes are keen to have her, but she doesn't know if she wants to do that sort of thing anymore. And she sort of just hangs on the edges of conversation, kind of shuffling about, not sure what to do with herself.
This isn't a decision that we should make for you.
I don't really know what I want, to be honest.
Home? Do you have a home, a family?
I don't remember them. If I'm from Shalkun originally, but I couldn't tell you what it looked like. I don't know anything about who I was before all this.
Did you serve the preacher for your entire life? Or a good portion of it?
A few years now, but he took a lot of my memories from me when he put that thing on me. Made me forget who I was.
Memories are important things.
I haven't got any anymore. Just those ones that were made when I killed for him.
She is welcome to stay with us until she gets herself back on her feet.
Thank you.
There's no decision about the Six Eyes. I won't ask you to kill. No one should be forced to kill for anyone. That's horrific.
Thank you, Brent. I appreciate it. I really do.
I do have to warn you that the individual who runs our bar he's a nice man, he means well, but he can be a little overwhelming at times.
There is also a goat and a giant spider.
That is not a goat, that is a unicorn. And you leave Seamus alone.
Madar grins at this.
We have a unicorn.
It is a goat with one horn.
I would love to see it sometime.
His name is Merlin, and he is fantastic.
I don't
For a
doubt it.
goat.
Why do you always have to ruin everything?
I am not ruining anything.
My entire life, I've wanted a unicorn, and I finally get one, and you won't let me have this.
He is a goat with one horn. By definition, he would technically be a unicorn, I suppose.
I'm glad you are finally seeing things my way. But anyway, you're welcome to stay with us, and we will
Thank you so
help
much.
you in what ways we can.
Chat ducks her head, smiles.
How?
I was just going to say, like, Declan had the idea of being all like, hey, Sherrod, this is what we found. Do you want anything?
Yeah,
And
so I
payments.
assume Declan would spend some time going through the papers and that he got from.
Yeah, well, so there's a couple things that Declan wants to do on the first day we're back. first and foremost is to check in with Ethan. Has she shown any improvement over the last few
Yeah,
days?
she is slowly becoming more talkative. Though you can tell there's like a heavy weight of guilt sitting in her chest.
Yeah.
And she seems like constantly kind of close to tears. But she's getting there. She is improving each day.
Yeah. So maybe once they're settled in, he'll try to make a space for her in one of the rooms upstairs in the Mirage. That's, probably not as posh as she's used to, but
Yeah.
she's been roughing it for a little while, so it's maybe an upgrade. And just sit with her and Ethan, dearest, do you know what it is that you want?
No, I don't know.
I feel that I'm... go ahead.
I went through a lot. I did a lot. She like rolls up her sleeves and shows that her arms are all like covered in scars. I feel like I took a step that I can never take back. Just wish things were like they were before. But it'll never be the same.
No. And I bear some of the responsibility for what's been forced upon you. If I had not antagonized that man, he would not have taken you.
She shakes her head.
It's true.
That might be true, but it's not your fault what he did.
Neither of us is without blame or responsibility, but we can both make amends and do right from now on.
She nods and lays her head on your shoulder. It's like the first real sign of affection she's given you since you rescued her.
Yeah, Declan is not great with affection, and especially so with her, just given his feelings for her. But he allows it, and I promised your father that I would return you. Are you ready to go home?
She shakes her head. I don't want him to see me like this.
Do you wish to stay here?
Will you stay here?
Frankly, I don't know. This place has tested me more than I thought possible. You know that I am committed to my convictions, and they have all been shaken. I've made promises that I do not know if I can keep. But you were and remain my first oath to keep you safe.
You've done that, Declan. Safe, but just don't know what happens now. There's no way I can go back to my life in Dethoyne and just live as though this never happened.
Of
My
course.
skin, my soul, they're marked forever by what happened. My face.
Your face is still lovely. And he'll sort of touch her chin.
She gives him a small smile.
We both
Just-
have much to think on, I'm sure. Go ahead.
She's just going to repeat that she doesn't know what she's going to do. Thank you, Declan, for not giving up.
I will always come for you.
I
Will
admire
you
that
be...
about you.
Thank you. Will you be well enough here on your own for an hour or so?
She nods.
Good. I do own this place, so feel free to help yourself to a drink.
I might have to.
And then Declan will head off towards the butcher shop, and if anybody else wants to come, they are more than welcome.
Makud and Bryn are going off to the Shalfadi.
Yes.
Abarashmina will go with Declan.
Cool.
Okie dokie.
Don't they have her mother anyway? Ellery is at the Six Eyes anyway.
Yes.
So I guess
Unless
we'll
they
all go
brought
to
her.
the butcher shop together.
That's fine too.
As
Okay.
a team.
The butcher shop is very busy, full of Six Eyes and ex-slaves. Uvir is making drinks like a whirlwind, and there's a quiet celebration going on, though many of the slaves are still too tired or too broken to really let go and enjoy themselves. But a few are kind of starting a cheerful atmosphere.
Suppose we can try to pay the Six Eyes from our spoils.
And grain and
This is what we found.
Yeah.
You just tip the bag and the entire room slowly fills up
Mm.
with grain.
oh, I
No. I'm asking Declan because he traded a bunch of stuff for the ice slurry. Are you including that in like the things to give to Shirat, or is it only the things we found in? Okay. So
Yeah,
there's
so Declan's plan is to turn over pretty much most of his stuff, with a few exceptions, to Shirat.
Okay.
So
magic beans, wind fan.
Oh, can you really getting rid of the magic beans? The
What?
potential.
yeah,
Okay, well, let's go first. So,
Okay.
for killing the preacher, that's 100 grand.
Mm-hmm.
He did say you could have some
100.
of the. Well, for killing them, you killed
We
one.
killed
I
two.
suppose.
Well, the other guy
I deliberately
was
didn't kill one.
incapacitated. Did we carry
One of
him
them killed
across?
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of
we
them is
killed-
dead.
One of them
is
killed. Yeah,
dead.
one of them killed themselves. So that's
And we
200.
killed two.
The rest of them, he'll pay you half for bringing them alive. Because they are costing him quite a lot, but he still wants to.
Sure.
I
let it
wasn't
go.
expecting anything, so that's
Well,
very
he-
generous of him.
Makud did sort of say, like, can I still have some? So that's 78 times 50.
Which is
Or 79 times 50, actually. It's 3,950.
well, he doesn't get to keep Ethan, so just 3,900, I think.
He's not trying to keep. It was an incentive for rescuing people.
Oh, okay.
You guys also, I rolled this myself because it was like 2 weeks and I couldn't be bothered to make you guys roll it. You made 6,998 gold from the shop.
Oh, nice.
We
We
so
could just
if
give
you
him
want-
like 25% of that.
If you, however much you want.
You just say that like some percentage goes to him automatically.
Yeah, sure. What percentage?
I'm okay with
I would say 25 if we think
or
we can.
20, because then he's an equal share at that point. If we just give him 20%.
Fair enough.
Okay. So that's we'll round it up. So 1,400 gold to him.
Like seriously, I imagine that these dry goods are probably worth a good amount because there's no real farming here, and they probably have to have everything imported.
Yeah, and the sheer amount. So I'm gonna say you can have 3,500 gold.
Sweet.
So before magic items, you guys paid off 158,950 gold of your debt. I'm also gonna and do you just want that 20% to Sharat pay like
Just automatic?
Just automatic. Okay.
Just
From now on. Yeah, from now on.
Until the debt is paid.
Okay.
I mean, if we give him a permanent share in the Mirage, I mean, it's turning into a profitable business. Does that, like contractually, he will have it in perpetuity, and our debt is forgiven?
Well, I mean, it's already kind of forgiven. We're just trying to actually pay it back.
Yeah.
I mean, we're technically accruing a lot more debt because we technically had him. He had to buy buildings. He's having to. So,
but that's it's so that basically the debt is like he basically bribed a load of people for you and is like, look, I'm happy to do it, but that cost us almost 500,000 gold. So we'd really appreciate if you could, pay off this debt for you. Yeah. However, slaves, they are happy to put their money where their mouth is. Like and they're happy to just take that expenditure as this is what the Six Eyes do. This is our mission is to fix slavery, and this is that. Helping out you guys was just like a side thing, and that it's like they've it's like loaning your brother money or whatever. Like you'd hope for it back, but it's not like give me money sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So how much did you say that we paid him?
Paid off 158,950.
So what are we at right now?
420,000 gold.
What are we at now?
260, 950.
So you have. So you still have 261,050 gold left to pay off.
61. Okay.
So if we just give him the Ring of Elemental Command and the Scarab Protection, that would pretty much cover the rest.
You would give up your Ring of Elemental Command?
Yeah.
After making us fight a Dal for it?
I mean, it wouldn't cover. It wouldn't cover all of the rest. Those two items would be somewhere in the region of 100 grand.
Okay, so the range on legendary stuff is between 50,000 and like up.
It's 50,000 plus.
Right. Okay.
They have to find buyers for that kind of thing. I imagine that can't be difficult. Makud would say, like, we can't pay it if you're dead. And, if we go to fight the people who can control the sandworms, I'm sure being able to control the sands would be of use to us.
Yes, I do not think that this is something we should give up. It is a powerful tool that will keep us all alive.
You can always give it in afterwards.
But the Scarab of Protection, if nobody else wants that, I mean, that's kind of dope.
I mean, that's much better than the Gloves of Missile Snaring that I'm currently holding, but I didn't want to say...
I mean, yeah, you guys are also likely going to fight a mummy at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we should keep those two things because they're kind of big items. But, like, the magic beans are also a rare, very rare. And then, like, the wind fan. And then Abrashmina has this scroll, which you'll happily give to Iluri for her spell book. The
Yeah.
wand of magic detection will be useful.
Oh, can we say that Declan did the investigation into the accounting papers?
If this is happening on the first day, unless you were reading stuff in the desert,
It's going to take a long time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll take like a few days to go through. Like you could have been reading stuff while you were camping,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, one of the things you would have found is that there appears to be a list of each of the guards that the preacher owned.
Ooh. That's
Ooh,
worth,
yeah,
that's worth some money
That's
to
gotta be worth
Shurat.
some money.
You can give that to Shurat and maybe pay off some of our debt.
Well, Declan's going to copy it first.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so if you offer that to Sharat, he'll like immediately like lean forward, fingers interlaced. So you would hope for some money off your debt for that, I assume?
I assume that would bring you, that it would pay you back tenfold at some point, yes?
Well, what would you say is a fair price?
I think the price is yours to set.
Yes, we are not greedy.
10,000
You've-
gold.
You've been more than generous with it. All of our other offerings.
I think
10,000 is fair.
I think it's fair, yes. It will also benefit us to have this information known by you.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
If you need help removing them from office,
Oh, Makud, if you see any of these guards, feel free to introduce them to your famous hammer.
he like looks down. I don't see any guards. There's no pictures
just
on this,
words.
right? It's just words. Exactly. I don't
Yeah.
see guards.
Is Iluri willing to
I
pay
don't know these people.
for the 2 scrolls? Does
She
Makud
would
want to
be.
give up? Does Makud want to give up his scroll as well?
If you persuade him nicely, maybe he will.
Well, for persuasion.
I mean, he has a pretty box.
This will make Iluri more powerful and a more powerful ally to have. You can keep the box. She just needs the scroll. You can have my box too if you'd like. And she holds up the pretty jade one.
What will you take for box, Shalat?
And the scrolls within. Control weather and glibness.
Yeah,
Which is like a level 9 spell or something.
they're both level 8.
Yes.
Level 8.
He'll give you 15,000 for each spell.
Each?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I suppose, okay, but
50 gold for each case.
we keep the cases. Makud likes them. I
Pretty
could maybe tie them to a sash and you can put them around your waist.
I was thinking maybe I reforged them and they go here, and he just like sticks them on his horns.
I was gonna say, if you'd like the paper, and then we can just write some. I know some interesting poems we can write on there for you.
Okay. Before we offer up the spells to Iluri, though, are these the kinds of things like control weather I could see possibly being useful if we have to go out into the desert? Is it more worth our efforts and time to see if we can have what's her name? Thela and trying to enchant this on an item that we could reuse.
So you would know this, as it stands currently, is a bit above her skill level.
Yeah, she's not that powerful a wizard. Okay, so 30K for both. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes, please.
I mean, we're not big on arcane casters, so.
I mean, we can still use them.
Yes.
Prince
Guys
Arcane
are almost halfway.
wanted to be surprisingly charismatic for some time.
Right. What about the rest of your magic items, the minor ones you have?
I think the only other magic item that Abrashmila has is. Let me look. I have the drift globe, but I could see that being useful if at some other point in time, because Abrashmina cannot see in the dark. So I
He
can
would
put
give
it.
you 50 gold for the drift globe. If you...
Yeah.
Are you
That's
sure
yard
Asamar don't have dark vision?
Asamar do not have dark vision.
Are you sure?
I think the wind fan and the feather token we could give them.
Okay. Rarities for those? I don't know if you have them to hand.
I'm pretty
don't
sure
have them on
Asamar
hand.
has dark vision.
Okay. The feather token.
And the
Which is-
parapet of health, technically. Pariat.
Cariat.
Oh yes, you're right. But it does have daylight always prepared in it.
Sure. I'm not saying give away the thing. I'm just.
No, I
The feather token is rare, and he'll give you 1,000 gold for it.
Okay.
what about the potion of vitality? It's very rare.
Let me just do the wind fan quickly. Sorry. I have so many things. That's uncommon. I'll say 150 gold for that one.
Sure.
You guys are at 200,100. 200,100. That's a weird number to say.
And the periapt?
The periapt.
220, 800, right?
It just said 200,100 is where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Periapt is uncommon. He'll say 150 for that as well.
Okay.
That's when
Actually,
Magus,
hang
it's a
on.
non-attunement item, so might as well
yeah,
use
I
it.
think we should hang on to that one personally.
Curing
Because
disease would be nice.
curing disease, like Abarashmina can do that with the staff, with the lesser restoration, but
Just one second. Before we just sold the prices of the people's names, even we were on. I thought we were on 261,050. So both
That
the
was
scroll-
that was remaining.
yeah, and then both the scrolls, which is they've 30k. Okay, no,
I'm
no,
counting my way up,
right. Fair enough.
so it's probably just.
I'm keeping track. He's right. Dan, I'm keeping track too. That's why I
Okay.
keep double checking.
So have you got 200,100?
Uh-huh.
But whatever the opposite of that is, 'cause
Yeah.
you count down. Sweet. Thank you. So you keeping the periapt?
I think it's probably wise if
Yeah.
we get.
Yeah, we're gonna hang on to it.
Okay. So what were you asking, Jade?
The potion of vitality.
It's what level?
It is very rare.
Okay. He will give you 7,500 for that.
So
Maku, sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's a good trade because unless we fight a Sphinx, it's going to age us. We're not probably going to need to restore lost years of life.
Maku, did you want to hang on to the Scarab of Protection?
If other people are full of attunement items and don't want it, then
That would be better
mean-
for him than Gloves of Missile Snaring, I think.
probs.
If I were any other kind of rogue, I would hang on to it. But I am not that kind of rogue, so you can have it.
Okay. Are you
I
selling
will-
the gloves then?
Do you want the gloves in return, or
Are they attunement?
they are?
No.
Selling the gloves?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
He'll do 500 for the gloves though.
Actually, hold on. What would he give for the Eyes of the Eagle?
The eyes of the eagle.
That one's uncommon.
Yeah. He'd give you 100 gold for the eyes of the eagle.
I think give him the eyes of the eagle and Abrashmina. No, wait, hold on, because it does something extra because of the Ashari things, doesn't it? You gave it an extra, like sandstorms don't obscure vision.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, I'll hang on to those and let gloves of missile snaring go. So 500, you said?
500. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
I gave him 700 gold from my personal coffers. I'll just let him keep that.
are you doing that? Is this something that you'd already done, or is this something?
So before I left, I gave him 700 gold and a
Okay,
key
yeah.
to my
Then I
key to my
already have
lab.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was for taking care of.
Yeah, that was in case I die. But I'll
TCOD.
just give it to him. To
Okay.
pay the debt down.
Let's see. And what was 20%? The 6,900 or 6,098.
Yeah, I've
What
already
did-
taken that into account.
But what did
That
you
was
take out?
1,400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Okay, 1,400. You said.
Yes.
Okay, so that is. I'm dividing that up by 4 so that we can have. Is it 460? 98.
No, you each get 1,400. I think is.
No. That's not. That doesn't divide by 5.
No, but it was. I rounded it.
So you're giving us 1,400. That's a very generous rounding.
No, it's not. 6,998 divided by 5 is 1,000.
Oh, I had it 6,000. Sorry, I had it 6,098. Not 6.
No, so it's basically 7,000 divided by
I got you.
1,400.
Okay.
So we each have 1,400 gold.
Yeah.
Yes.
We also have. We didn't divide this up last time. Let me. We had 623 gold left over from the last time. That's about 124 each. If we give him, hold on, 693 divided by 4. That's 156 gold each that we all have as well.
I'll add that to his.
I just divided that one by 4 because it got into like and 75.75. It got too difficult to divide by 5.
Cool. I will also.
How much gold? Sorry.
156.
156 each. Right.
Yes.
I will also make it clear that this is profit.
Yes.
So we are taking the 700 and assuming we're taking the 750 or whatever gold, and
we haven't paid that yet.
No,
Yeah.
what I'm saying though is like when you say profit, we can automatically assume that we've paid our staff.
Yeah, so this isn't revenue. Yeah, this is after you've paid your staff, you've replenished your booze.
Technically, we haven't had to do that yet, so our next month's comeuppance might be a little bit less, unless we're setting some aside for that each time.
I imagine that was the case.
Okay, cool. That makes things easy because we don't have to remember to pay out the gold next time. Sweet.
We're paying the entertainers that Shamir is finding, the world-class entertainers.
Yeah.
They have huge talents.
Huge talents. Yeah, I think there are the other potions.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did he say? Did he take the potion of vitality? That was 700. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's taken 200. Yeah, so Makud has his 2 healing potions.
There was Supreme and a Greater.
Yeah.
I mean, I already had a Greater. I could give away a Greater, unless. How much does a Greater go for?
A Greater is uncommon. So we'll say 150 gold.
Makoud has so little idea of numbers. That seems like a small number to him. I think he's going to keep the potion. Like to hit, it's. I want him to have worked out that that's a drop in the ocean to what we really
It's
owe.
probably for like how like the rhythm of how long it takes to say a number, right? Like
Yes.
1.5 million is more than 100
420,000.
because it sounds longer, you know.
Yeah. I think he doesn't like that number seems too small to him. He's going to keep it because I think the potions are useful.
So is he like bringing it out and debating it, or is he just being like not giving it?
I
Like
think
would he be like this one and they're like 150 and he's like,
yeah, I think they would have to tell him what the thing was.
The
okay, hold on. Before that, you see a strange look cross Alluri's face as she sees it.
oh no, it's a poison potion, isn't it?
It's a poison potion.
That's awesome.
Swear we didn't know.
Wait,
And
what?
she'll say, are you sure you want that one, Maku?
I would actually hope to keep that, if that's all right.
Of course, it's yours.
Knowing that it's poison,
Exactly.
it would be bad for you, Makoud. You should let Declan have it so that he can experiment with it.
Do you mean just as bad as the wine? Because the wine was fucking fantastic.
No, it's no. It would be like the drugs that Gurat put in his wine, the ones that made you
I
confused.
think that's what he's referring to.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the mine wine.
I'm not
No.
sure about the nature of this particular poison, Makoud, but if it turns out to be something you might enjoy, I promise to share.
It is definitely not something for you to drink in the heat of battle, as you would a regular potion.
It's a fine line between toxicity and fun, but I promise to find it for you.
I love that line.
That's a fantastic
That's
one.
a fantastic line.
I'll show them the supreme just in case it's a supreme toxicity potion or whatever.
Makoud. It's a rare
Supreme.
healing potion.
Okay.
They'll give you $1,000 for it.
You should keep it, Makoud.
No.
No.
Mine.
The feather token, did you put that up? Or
So
you
the
keep it
token is
now?
done.
Yeah.
Did you? I know
Yeah.
you did the whip fan. Okay, I missed
Yeah,
the feather.
I did the.
It's
the
1K it went for.
Okay. I think I missed that. But what are we at?
On my end, it's 208,100.
208,100, you said?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I have.
Look at us.
Yay! Cool. I don't think we have anything else.
So that's how much we have left, or that we've paid
I've
off?
paid off 208,100 gold.
We have 2,000.
You are almost
hold on.
halfway.
211,900 gold left to pay off. So we are more than halfway. Yes.
And you're not quite halfway.
No, we had 420.
Yeah. And 208.
Yes,
210 is half of 420.
yes, and we are at
Oh,
211.
right. You've got. Yeah. I thought you meant you'd paid off more than half. I see what you're saying.
We did. Okay. Oh, yeah, yes. We've almost paid off half. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I actually have to go in like 5 minutes?
Yeah. We'll finish up with this.
Okay.
I think that's all the items that we have for sales.
Yeah. I think so.
All right.
Selling things to Sharat.
And so as you guys do a bit of accounting, bit of admin, and return to your lives after 2 weeks away. 2 weeks, a very, very hard 2 weeks. You finally are able to get some rest rest and take a deep breath and relax for a little bit.
Party
And,
at the Mirage tonight.
big
We
time.
celebrate.
And that's where we'll end.
DJ